Welcome back to the Get Past Your Past pre order bonus, where we're talking about how to take this book and really have it mean something to you. Because at the end of the day, that's really what I want. I recognize this is a book, but I want this to be a stepping stone to the next step towards getting to the place you want to be. And so I want you just for a moment to imagine your past. Now, we all have a past, right? We all have every experience we've had that leads us up to today, sitting wherever you're sitting watching this video. And so I want you to think just a little bit about the timeline of your life. And I want you to think in terms of what if there were a marker for every single year, right? So if you had a piece of paper and you just drew a line every single year that there was one, two, three, and on and on and on until today, until the age you are today. And I want you to start at age 0 and walk your way through what memories come up. Now, there's not going to be a memory probably every year that stands out, but you will find some, right? So you might remember that at age 5, you got a puppy, or at age 10, you switched schools and that was really tough, or age 13, you got a bicycle, or maybe age 16, your parents divorced. Whatever those are, walk yourself up to the age you are today. And again, just note what comes up for you. In fact, I would love it if you'd write those things down. Well, here are the things that stand out. You don't have to spend a ton of time on this, but what are those things as you pass those age markers that you see that stand out? Okay. And then I want you to take a second and I want you to look at those and I want you to tell me, are those mostly positive? Are they mostly negative? Are they mostly neutral? What is the general tone of those things that stand out today as you look back? Okay. And then also, what do those things tell you about you? So, for instance, if you say most of them are negative and most of them are things that happened to me. And so, what they do is they tell me, Jason, that I don't have a lot of control. Notice how that theme might play out in your life, right? So, if you are walking around feeling like you don't have a lot of control, notice how you might feel that way day to day, or how you might have that perception in certain interactions that you don't have control. Now, this is exactly why our past matters, is because for better, right? We might say, well, my perception, Jason, is everything always works out for me, which fantastic, although that's rarely actually the case. And so it becomes really problematic when things don't work out. But I'm giving you this example because I want you just to think a little bit about what stands out in my past and then what are the messages that my past experiences have given me about myself, about others, about the world, and even my faith. What stands out? This is exactly why we want to understand the past, is because these messages you might read and you might say they're completely accurate, and I'm fine with that. And that's wonderful if it is. But here's my suspicion, and really something I know that's going to be true for everybody, is that when you look back at those past experiences and what those have taught you about yourself and others, is that at some point, one of those things is no longer going to be accurate. One of those things is going to be accurate in that situation where you experienced it, but it will no longer be accurate today and in some way is holding you back from taking the next step to the better life. And so that's why I wrote the book, is I want to help you make sense of those experiences and use them as a springboard instead of a shackle that holds you back. And so to do that, the very first step is just to acknowledge why we would want to do this anyway. And the reason we want to do this is because whether you're coming into today feeling like everything is terrible and awful, or things are pretty good and just could be a little bit better, regardless, we all have these stories and messages about our experiences that we've had that we need to make peace with. And so that's what I'm going to walk you through. So just take a moment, maybe write down some reflections. But what I'd love to hear you kind of work through on your own is 3 ways that you feel like your past has impacted your today. And so you might say, well, my past made me a really hard worker, or in my past I was betrayed, and so I really struggled to trust. Or in my past I experienced addictive behaviors and I struggle with addiction. Or in my past I was really well taught, so I've had great relationships. So it could be positive, could be negative, could be neutral, but take a moment and write down 3 ways your past has affected and impacted you today. See you on the next video.